The Locked On Podcast Network presents the NBA Big 3 in 30. The 3 biggest stories in the NBA from our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more, all in 30 minutes. The NBA Big 3 in 30 starts now with the biggest stories in the NBA.
The Dallas Mavericks win in overtime against the Detroit Pistons. Another quality win for the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg is special. You and I spent a good hour today talking about Cooper Flagg and many other things on your show on the Haymaker Network, and I had a great time over there today in studio.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Go watch if you haven't watched it.
Shout out Ben and Skin. And we talked a lot about Cooper Flagg, and I spoke very highly of Cooper Flagg. There are very few players in the NBA that I would take right now over Cooper Flagg. Like, just not many at all. And you see in a game like this exactly why I am so high on Cooper Flagg. I think that he can win an MVP. I think that he can be the best player on a championship team. I think he can be an All-NBA level player. All those things are available to him. He's got to have to take steps up. He's got to have to take leaps. But I see the vision. I see all of it for him, because you watch what he did at the end of this game, and he was struggling to shoot a little bit. He went 8 of 20 from the field. 23 points on 20 shots is not the greatest efficiency. He missed all 4 of his threes. But with a minute left in the fourth quarter, the Mavs had completely collapsed. They were up by 18 in the third quarter, had completely collapsed, lost their lead. The Pistons took a lead with a minute 22 left. And what does Cooper Flagg do? He takes the ball. He drives. He ISOs against Isaiah Stewart. He realizes he had a mismatch. And we've been saying this whole time throughout this season. The Cooper Flagg, once he realizes he has a mismatch, he's been great at attacking that mismatch and doing the right thing, making the right basketball play. He hit a floater over Beef Stew. That was incredible. Mavs only down 1. AD gets a block on the other end. Some crazy stuff. Shot clock shouldn't have reset. They do review all that, blah, blah, blah. Ended up shot clock violation. The Mavs ended up being a good defensive play for them. On the other end, 19 seconds left. Flagg, with the ball in his hands, 18 years old, the youngest player in the NBA, on this veteran team, this win now supposedly team, has the ball against the number 1 team in the East, a ferocious defense, a physical defense. None of these things should be happening for him, but he gets the ball and pick and roll. Cade Cunningham switches on him, and what does Cooper Flagg do? All right, I'm going to stop real quick. I'm going to pull up and rise up over the top, and I'm going to hit this shot. Boom, 110, 109. Beef Stew ends up getting fouled on the other end, hits a free throw, sends it to overtime. But those 2 shots, 2 more clutch baskets, 2 more just absolute nails plays from Cooper Flagg, and that's where I'll start, where I just think he's a special player because of those 2 plays.
Yeah, and I mean, his clutch numbers tonight, 10 clutch minutes, so the entire 5 minutes of the end of
all of it.
The last
fourth quarter and overtime.
Fourth quarter and overtime, 10 minutes. That's the max you could get. 2 of 9 from the field for Coop. So you could look at that and say, ugh, ugly one for Coop there down the stretch. But what I see is the 2 makes, like you said, in the last minute, and I see 9 field goal attempts. Like, I love that. I love that stat. He also had 2 assists, including one really nice drop off for AD that I can't remember when exactly in the game that happened, but that was a very big moment in the game because any bucket late was big the way that these 2 teams were playing.
Both the assists in overtime were to AD, and both of them were awesome. They were Cooper Flagg, 3 minutes left in overtime. Pick and roll, drive, alley-oop to Anthony Davis. Mavs go up by 2. Then with a minute 32 left, Flagg drives, bumps Cade Cunningham, and gets a dump off to Anthony Davis because he takes on another defender. Mavs go by 2 again. Continues to make these clutch plays, whether it's with his playmaking or his shot.
Yeah, and had some big defensive plays too down the stretch. Yeah, I mean it was a nasty game. It got really, really physical late. I mean, they were not blow a whistle for anything.
Nothing
late in this game on either side, and no turnovers in a game like this when you had the ball in your hands as much as you did late.
Wow,
that's something to me. Yeah, I mean, it was just a really nice performance, and I thought actually one of his best defensive games of the season as well. To add the cherry on top,
they weren't attacking him at all because you're like, well, that's not an advantage. You'd think the 18-year-old youngest player in the NBA, rookie, would be a guy that you would attack if you're Cade Cunningham or if you're some of these bigger guys. They didn't go for it because he's a good defender, and that's the other thing that you add to Cooper Flagg is okay, all the offensive stuff we just talked about, and yet he's also a very good defensive player, and he holds up defensively against pretty much anybody. It's wild. It's wild to watch him play, man.
It is, man. He's very special. He's a special player.
Do you agree with all the things I said at the top about he can be an MVP, he can be a best player on a championship team?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think all of that. The thing is it's like at this point in time, why on earth would you say anything else? I'd understand it if it's like the first week we saw of his career was like kind of it's just been consistent. Like that's how he's played, where he's super tentative and like 12 points, 9 points. It's like, man, I'd like to see more, or maybe be like, yeah, he's got a long way to go before he this is like this game. He's had a few of these this year. It's like first half, just didn't get the ball much. You know, I didn't think he was tentative or anything. Just did not get the ball much. They were clearly trying to get AD going early in this game to no avail. But we'll talk about AD here in a bit because I thought he actually had a great game, to be honest with you. I'll zag. But
Flag was 3 of 4 in the first half.
Yeah, barely got any shots. But the game gets into the second half, and there's no questioning who's the guy on this team. No. And I think it goes beyond like, hey, he's our rookie. We want him to have these moments, right? I think it's like this is our best opportunity to score a point. Like that's where he's at already as a player. So it's I absolutely think because of that, yeah. Why would he not have a chance to be the best player in the world? Like you're just talking if you don't think he could be.
One of the more astounding things was the reason why the Pistons got back in this game, I thought, was because they turned up the ball pressure on the Mavs.
Oh, yeah.
And like guys couldn't dribble. It was Brandon Williams, Nembhard had a couple times where he just got stuck. D'Angelo Russell, like the Mavs could not dribble in this game because the Pistons turned on that pressure and they're like, all right, we're going to force you. And team should do that more against the Mavs because it's ineffective every time somebody like really turns it up. And they did that. And who could they turn to? It was Cooper Flag. That was the one they could turn to like actually initiate offense and to get the ball anywhere across, 3/4 court or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy because who was even out there for the Pistons? It almost felt like JB Bickerstaff was pissed off. The Pistons, this was an emotional game for them from the beginning.
Didn't feel like him. He was pissed off.
He was pissed off. But the Mavs were like knocking on the door of this potentially becoming a blowout game. Like they had a pretty sizable lead. They were up 18 at one point in the third quarter. And it almost felt like JB Bickerstaff was like, all right, if this is how you guys are going to play, we're going to throw our bench guys out there. And whatever, like you guys might not play in the fourth quarter. And then you had Beef Stew, Dennis Jenkins, Dallas native, Ron Holland, B-Ball Paul, Marcus Sasser. These guys check in, like you said, their energy just went up a million. And the Mavs just turnover, horrible offense, turnover, horrible offensive possession, turnover. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, this is a 3-point game. And it's just like the Mavs actually are losing.
McMahon just reported that JB Bickerstaff didn't name crew chief John Goebel in his post-game rant, but he called him out for being unobjective. He said that the refs were unobjective in this game.
They were slightly biased.
He couldn't have just said slightly biased. He couldn't have just said it.
So sick.
That would have been amazing.
Incredible. Kid, if you watch the show, please God give us a side in a press conference.
NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Despite playing one of their most disappointing and lackluster games of the season, the Phoenix Suns do something all good teams have to prove they can do.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast.
The Phoenix Suns found a way to win ugly. And I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to love the show that I'm going to do today. And it's because I feel like I am one of the only people in this Arizona sports media who I think will tell it to you straight sometimes without the rose-colored, or I guess I should say orange-colored Suns glasses and say, hey, tonight wasn't great. It really was not great. This was one of the worst Suns games of the season. But let me add the caveat. And this is what you should take, and it's why I'm leading the show with it. Good teams find a way to win ugly. Even when they play, I'm going to be honest with you, kind of a piss poor style of basketball for large stretches of this game. They found a way to win ugly. And the Suns continue to do the thing that they have done all season long. Play really, really well in the clutch. And whether it was Devin Booker, who I would go after way more in this game had he not had a couple of big shots really, and when I mean late, I mean really, really late. And I'm talking about that last jumper against Jimmy Butler, which was just water all over Butler. Another term for that is wet. Maybe some people out there don't know the hoop lingo, but it was a beautiful jumper. And so that is what you should take from this. It's not me reprimanding the Suns. It's not me saying the Suns are a bad team. I have sung the praises of this team all year long. But I'm going to be honest with you. The Suns have now played 3 games where they have not played their best basketball. Like, again, we've already said the good thing. The good thing is good teams find a way to win ugly. You're still worried the Suns aren't a good team? I'm not. They're a good team. That's why I'm going to hold them to a higher standard starting now. The Suns have now played 3 straight games where they have not played good basketball. They haven't. The Oklahoma City game, we burned the tape on it. You lost by 50. It friggin' happens. Maybe not losing by 50, but losing big happens. The Suns, I'm going to take a guess with you, will lose a game this year by 20 points. It happens. Everyone loses by 20. Maybe not the Oklahoma City Thunder, but most teams have a game or two where they lose by 20 to 25. I don't care if they lost by 50. The Lakers game was a rollover from that Thunder game. They were not good for like 3 quarters. The Lakers went on, I believe it was a 23-0 run in that third quarter. But the Suns found a way to make a rally late. But what was my number one takeaway from that game? You can't just say no lead is safe and bail yourself out late in games all the time, because it's going to bite you in the ass. You cannot play your best brand of basketball when it's already so late in the game that you're giving yourself no margin for error. This is obvious, but it's true. You've got to play complementary basketball. And here's the other thing. The Suns are still a team that tries hard. Like when I say, sorry, my voice is still not great. When I say that the Suns had a lack of effort tonight, I'm talking about a lack of effort from their standards. And there was a lack of effort tonight. And it was things that we talked about. Turnovers, 15 of them tonight. That's not like the worst in the world. They forced 20 against the Warriors, but it's not great. They were out rebounded tonight by the Golden State Warriors, who are not a good rebounding team. Those are effort stats. Do you give a damn? And the Suns for most of the year have given a damn, but more than anyone else by a long shot. And that's how they were winning games. They were just pestering you to death. And what I will say is it's easy to be the team that dives on the floor, that gets all the loose balls, that gets all the loose rebounds, that tries really, really hard when you're winning. But when you're on a 2-game losing skid and you are not seeing the fruits of your labor right in front of you, sometimes you slack off a little bit. And this is not a me saying the Suns are a bad team or the Suns suck. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you, this formula of winning, had they been playing any team other than the Golden State Warriors tonight, they probably would have lost. And it was sloppiness. And we'll get to Dillon Brooks in just a second. But here's my quick Dillon Brooks thing that I'll get deeper into in just a second. It's the little things on how you're going to beat teams like the Warriors who might be neck and neck with you, but you need to separate from them. And it's the little things. What do I mean by that? Well, Dillon Brooks, like, he's got 9 technical fouls. I think it's 16 and you're suspended. I don't know. I think it's either 16 or 18, whatever. Like, it's not that important right now. He's got 9 technical fouls in the season. And some of them aren't warranted, but it's the little things. It's being aware. It's knowing you're not the most talented team, but doing all the intangible things. And like, did I think Dylan Brooks' flagrant foul against Steph Curry was that bad? Did I think Curry did a little bit of acting? Did I think the officials made a horrendous call to go to the replay center when the Warriors had no challenges to give? Yes. But Dylan has to be smarter. And this goes for everyone. Everyone's got to be a little bit smarter. They're a smart basketball team. They're a good basketball team. I'll keep saying that. But I'm saying this because I'm holding them to a higher standard. If I thought this was going to be the Suns from the preseason, I'd be singing a different tune tonight. I'd be like, oh, they found a way to win ugly. Good for them. Like, no, they've raised the bar. So I've raised the bar on this team. Like I told you, you're not going to love the show I'm doing today, but I'm giving you the harsh truths. It's so funny. Tonight, you got the full Dylan Brooks experience. When Devin Booker was, just downright awful early in this game, and for like half of this game, 2.5 quarters of this game, Dylan Brooks was carrying the offensive load. There was at one point in this game where Dylan Brooks had 15 shot attempts and Devin Booker had 3 shot attempts. Like, he was having to carry the offensive load because Devin Booker just don't got it right now. But then you got the 15% of, Dylan, what are you doing? What are you doing? Again, I love Dylan Brooks, would not trade him for the world, but you got to be smarter there. Did I think that flagrant foul was nothing? Yeah, but you have to be aware and know that the officials have a magnifying glass on you. And so it's the little things tonight. And like, I want to look at the box score really quickly because it shows that the Suns have to give more of an effort. Like, again, the Suns gave effort tonight. This was not last year's Phoenix Suns team, but they have to give more of an effort, more than any other team in the NBA, if they're going to keep winning games like this. They got to do the Nova Knicks style of basketball, where for 48 minutes, they're the try-hard team, and they might lose, but it's going to be really tough to beat them. But tonight, like, I thought the Suns had some lazy shot attempts late in this game, settling for 3-point jumpers. Devin Booker was a little bit of that. Royce O'Neal had a little bit of that. Had a little bit of that in this game as well. Colin Gillespie, 1 for 6 from 3, who I thought was awesome late in this game. We'll talk about that as well. But like, it's just that those kind of things aren't good enough. Jordan Goodwin had 7 threes tonight. It's stalling the offense. I think the Suns, like, I can't use the tired excuse. Like a couple of nights ago, you're like, they're just gassed. They don't have their legs. They're putting up jumpers. The Suns are getting out of their offense. They're getting out of things that work, and it's almost costing them games. And it cost them the Lakers game. Yeah, was the officiating not great? Whatever. But you can't just play that hard for the last 6 minutes of a game. That's a great call. That's something great to have, but it can't be something you just rely on. You got to be the hard-nosed, physical, push a team around all game long. Still, the Suns won. And that's the good part of it. Good teams find a way to win ugly, but hell was it ugly tonight. And I thought it was because the Suns have set a standard of effort, hustle, and grit. And I just didn't see that tonight until the last 6 minutes of the game. So don't blame the officiating that the Suns almost lost. And to be fair, like, I haven't even mentioned it, and that's crazy to me. But if not for a little bit of an officiating break, which feels like it was kind of a makeup call from Sunday's game, the Suns lose this game. And Jordan Goodwin almost bricked that second free throw. But the Suns won. That's great. That's still good. It's still a W in the win column. They just have to keep up the same intensity every single night. And the statistics show that, as I've just read them to you.
NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
No Cat, no Hart, no Mitch, no Deuce, no Shamit. No problem.
You are Locked On Knicks, your daily New York Knicks podcast.
The unlikely star turn of one Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek, man, I have to say, like, all I was thinking to myself, and I could be way off here, but all I was thinking to myself while watching this game was, man, I'm getting Jeremy Lin vibes for real. Like, that's how it was feeling to me in terms of I remember Jeremy Lin was saying, when his back was against the wall and he knew he was probably on the, borderline of getting cut, didn't know how many more chances he was going to get in the league. So it was like, this is the last chance. He had an opportunity to play, and he said, I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to be aggressive and let the chips fall where they may. And Kolek, with all the trade rumors and Jose Alvarado seemingly a done deal coming to New York based on how you hear people talk about it, seemed to have that same mentality where it's like, well, I may be out of here, but if I'm going to get minutes, I'm going to play my game and be aggressive. And he's done that. He's had that mentality. He's been aggressive, confident, comfortable. He's playing like he has nothing to lose, and he is performing as a star. He's having star level impact. Like, who knows how long it'll last, but I think there are some aspects of his game that will absolutely last because we know they are part of his skill set. So Jeff, super excited to have you on here. Thanks for joining. And what are your thoughts on this game from Tyler Kolek, and what does it really mean for the Knicks long term? Because you and I are always bringing the macro perspective, so we need that from you as well.
Yeah, this was an amazing performance. I don't know if I was getting the Jeremy Lin vibes that you were, but there was a moment when he hit like a step back midi, like he went around
yes.
back and hit the midi, and I was just like, man, this guy's feeling it. Like, I'm not going to go as far as to say Lin vibes, but that was special. This was a really, really phenomenal performance from him, and I think we will talk about Kolek's ability to run an offense in a way that's kind of unique to the roster. Like, we know that Brunson has point guard capabilities. You've been very, very strongly and correctly, I'd add, on the record as Brunson being an underrated passer. So I do think his floor generalness sometimes can get underrated, but I think the way Kolek organizes the offense is kind of unique to the roster. And so it's almost like a nice, fresh change of pace when he sees the floor. I'm going to start and talk about the defense, though, because I think that when Kolek came out of college, he's an older rookie. You look at him, he's a little bit smaller. He's 6'2", a little scrawny. And a lot of the analysis was like, okay, like, even if he can translate what the offense they had in college, this dude doesn't stand a chance defensively. Like, he's not even going to be able to stay on the court defensively. So the requisite level of offensive impact that he needs to bring to be playable is higher, because if he can't play defensively, of course, the viewers understand that. He's fine defensively. He's a good defender, and I think we saw it down the stretch. We're going to talk about those last 5 minutes in the next segment, but I think that you look at the data. If you look at Data Baller, the Knicks are 5 points better per 100 when Kolek plays defensively. If you look at dunks and threes, he's above average in defensive EPM. Like, he knows where to be on the court. He tries really hard, and he's stout with his hands. Like, he has all of these things that you need to have. Like, if you look at the defenders who the casual fan would look at, like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, guys that the data likes, but the film doesn't like, these types of guys all have certain ways of helping defensively that are non-traditional, and Kolek kind of has them all for a guard. Again, he's smart, his placement's good, he's got really good hands, and he tries hard. And so if he can tread water defensively and be that unique organizer offensively, man, there's a place for him on this team at a high level, not just playing these regular season games against bad teams. He can contribute in a way like we saw against San Antonio in the Cup championship. Like, he can be playable against the best teams in the league if this defense is legitimate, and he can pair that with the organization and the shooting that we've seen lately.
I love every bit of that. And I love that you started with the defense, because I think the defense ties into his offense. And what I mean by that is that his just awareness is incredible. And I think awareness is a transferable basketball skill. Kolek's like recognition and awareness is so good. Like you said, his positioning is great. He always knows where to be. He always makes the right rotations. He closes out really well. He picks up the right guy. He has a little bit of that Emmanuel Quickley in him, not to the extent that Quickley had it, but where he can kind of pick up the slack where other guys make mistakes and ends up, maybe you'll have to make an extra pass instead of the pass to the guy being open. Kolek will rotate to that guy, and then maybe you'll have to make one more pass. That's one more decision. That's one more opportunity for things to go wrong. And that stuff really racks up over time if you continually do that. And he does that really, really well. You even see him on the court vocally. He kind of tells guys where to be, both offensively and defensively. Sometimes he is sort of the spearhead of that zone that Mike Brown has been running on the perimeter. He even got a steal out of it in this game. He knows who's open. He knows who's coming open. And so that awareness with his passing and shooting skill, not only is it transferable to defense, but it makes him this really, really impactful and unique offensive player. And to your point about, his uniqueness in his passing and what he does to the offense on the roster, he's not kind of unique to this roster. He's absolutely unique to this roster in terms of what he does. He is a gifted passer. This is something that I've been talking about for a long time on this here podcast. People have heard me say he is a gifted passer. He is an elite passer for an NBA level passer, not just like for a guy on the Knicks, for a guy on any roster. He is exceptional. He allows the Knicks to run different kinds of plays and sets because his passing is so sharp. Like they can have a different playbook essentially. Like they ran a Spain pick and roll last night with Huck Porty and Bridges, and Kolek passed it from literally near half court, from the logo, from deep in the logo. A beautiful lob, not to the rim, but really a pass where Huck Porty is the only one who could catch it on his roll with an advantage against Jay Huff. He got fouled because Huff was so out of position off of the Spain pick and roll, and no one else on the team, in my belief, can make that pass. I think he's just unique in that way. And we'll talk a little bit more about Kolek when we return from the break, but we also got to get into something that you pointed out. We were texting a little bit during the game, especially towards the end of it. And there's something that both you and I noticed about Mike Brown, the way that he coached. And man, if Mike Brown is making these kinds of leaps so quickly into the season, along with what the Knicks have been doing from an outcome perspective, if they're putting into this level of process, it is scary for the Eastern Conference